saying if you're articulating and orchestrating in your head doing good things
Oh,
instead of just being the goodness that is, I'm saying it can cause a difference. You get what I'm saying? Like in the way that if one builds up maybe a lot of intention towards it and starts to orchestrate one's intention and saying and doing things, and then you record the things as like, oh, I'm doing what I just did was really good, and you hold on those merits for yourself, then it could.
right. I agree with that. I mean, if I think I understand what you're saying, like the good doesn't come from you. When I do good, I'm not doing good.
Okay, I get what you're
It's
saying.
it's
It's
good doing
goodness
good. Right.
pouring out.
Yeah. Like I should allow the good to work in me to do good. I'm only capable of doing wrong things. That's all I'm capable of doing, like on my own.
I see the Christian thought, but I get it's not. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I see the orchestration of when they're always saying I'm a sinner or like me. What they're saying basically is you're isolating your ego apart from just like God did in the beginning. He separated what was good from what was bad, what was light from what was dark,
Uh-huh.
separating everything that is false from what is true from his being. So Christians in the same try to achieve this same goal, like do this. But it's
Right.
funny to hear like so for Jesus though, it would be for the truth when the truth speaks, it doesn't articulate itself from the vantage point of having this entity that still exists, like this sinner or this ego, this thing that is separate from itself that is still like. So it says like I get what you're saying. It's just interesting, like when you hear if you hear like you read Jesus or you hear him speak or whatever, when you read the words, he would never articulate it that way. He would never divide it. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Right. So he's called the new Adam. So he's the creation which we were intended to be. Like he was a human that didn't sin, which
Mm-hmm.
is what we were supposed to be. So in that way, he wasn't separated from God.
Yeah,
Like he always repeats, like he makes this a clear point. Like I'm not doing my work. I'm doing the work of my Father. Like I'm
yeah,
not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what the highest reality thinks, or
yeah,
wants
yeah.
you to do.
But in the
Um,
essence that he's describing, just as in the new Adam and the Adam, they have temporal realities, just as like a tree, a rock, or a gator, a Powerade bottle, like you were explaining earlier. But they have no actual reality. So he was saying, just as like he would say, if just as I am the new Adam, so are you. The only reason you are Adam, a child of Adam, a sinner or whatever, is because you still hold ideas that you are. Like, do you see what I'm saying? So, like, the only thing that brings that form to life, that makes that form real, that sins, is the continual recognition of it or belief in it. Christ was
well,
so Jesus was trying to tell you that, like, or like say that all people, although I am, he's saying, yes, I am the new Adam. I am the model.
uh-huh,
I am the truth speaking through a body. Like, so
right,
I have no personal identity. Truth, what is consciousness, speaks through me. And so you are that also if you would only deny yourself, meaning deny what is not true in you.
right.
And
No, yeah, I
you
totally
would
agree with
speak
that.
from
Yeah,
this same place.
right. Yeah, he's saying deny yourself and follow me. Right.
So I imagine in a world where along how I don't know when, but it's if every being were to realize truth, then there would be no separate people. Like everyone would speak from that place. Everyone would speak. They wouldn't speak as Joe, as Sarah, or they might because it's important to designate to talk to people, but everyone would understand that Joe and Sarah or Bob, whatever, are just ideas inside of what's true, and the truth would speak all the time.
Right. I mean, I agree with that. I also agree. I also think like we have different qualities within us. Like some people are better at algebra. Some people are better at like knowing the Chinese language or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Or capable of constructing a building better than somebody else. And
yeah.
those things are okay. Like those things aren't bad.
No,
Like those are good things. And Jesus talks about us all being one body, and we should act as that. And I agree with that. I mean, that's what you're getting at, I think. Um,
yeah. The
and we should
the
use
church was his members.
Yeah, and we should
Where
rely upon one another to help us, you know, subdue the world and like do what we were originally supposed to do and take care of the world and take care of one another because we each have
Mhm.
different skill sets that we should be relying upon.
Yeah, so it's like one person, even though beings like you said have different qualities, and they might, like you said, like you were saying earlier, so a Buddha and Krishna or whoever, they might speak the truth differently, but they're still the truth. You're just hearing the arm speak or the foot speak, but it's still the same thing. It's the same. The being can't be separated.
Right, but we have to determine if what is being espoused is total truth. I mean, I've lied before in my life. Like, obviously, not everything that I've said in my whole life has been true. I mean, I've intentionally lied to people before. So, I mean, I don't know.
So you're saying, I'm just asking the fact that you've lied before, what does that mean? That you're a sinner? Or what do you, or
It just means that I'm not the truth. I mean, if you're separating me from
so
what I'm espousing, I think that might be different. I don't know what you're getting at.
so
You might I
you,
agree with you.
I'm
I just
just
don't know.
wondering if, see, yeah, I said one thing, and so like I don't mean this in a bad way at all. I'm saying I meant one thing and you kind of interpreted it another way, but now I want to extrapolate on your interpretation because it's interesting. But
Okay. Cool. Yeah, tangents are cool. I like them. But
I'm just curious, do you think that Jesus, the man that lived in time or in
mhm.
history, do you think he ever lied? Do you think it's
No.
no? That's interesting. See, I think he did
Uh-huh.
because now that see, I think the point of truth or not lying or being true is despite the only idea that you're not truth or that you're a sinner or something separate is the guilt and shame that you hold because of doing something that would continue to keep you separate from it your whole life, to beat yourself up or call yourself a sinner because you lied or you did
Uh-huh.
something. The truth, you got to think about it. So if God is the fabric, is everything, and he is these beings, he is all beings, and these beings are lying, then God is lying. But you understand, but God is not ever separated. His being is never contaminated, whether or not a lie comes through a body of his or not. He's never contaminated. He's never bound by he's never bound by an act. He's all forgiveness is immediate. There's no such thing as now, of course, actions produce consequences in this world. So obviously you're bound to a certain degree, but in the big picture of things, truth, the true being, God or whatever, is not bound by any act. So what I would say
Right.
is like that's
Right.
what I think Jesus was trying to say is you're not to think of yourself as a sinner continuously through life would be the not what Jesus would want you to do. It
Well,
might be important to recognize first so you can turn your attention towards yourself and look at all your actions and your being and your everything.
mhm.
but to be truth, but to be one with Jesus, to be one with the Son as the Son is one with the Father, and to be one with all things, you would have to you would have to forgive yourself for every ultimate forgiveness for any, because you wouldn't hold lies or anything as an account, like on an accounting sheet on your being, you know?
Right. So, I mean, yeah, you're getting at something. So Paul in First Corinthians something, I forgot, but he says, I don't even judge myself. I withhold judgment for myself by myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
God's the ultimate judge of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think like God is separate from creation. Like he is in it, but in a sense. But I don't think he is it. And then my other question for you would be if you think evil is a real thing.
I mean, that's a big question because, like, what is evil is a lot. I think evil is inside of creation. It's a part of duality. It's a part of God. It's a part of God in the fact that it's a part of the God that is creation. So when I agree with you, I think that I would say that God is creation, and then God is also not creation. He's
Right, which is what you're getting at. Like he's
everything
not
beyond that.
beholden by acts. Like I agree
Yes.
with you. I agree. Right.
So does evil exist in a sense? Yes, kind of. But do I think the the more that, a being in truth, evil starts to not be evil. It's hard to explain that the evil things that people do in the world are not evil, and the good things that people do in the world are not good. It's the
So
lines just start to,
because it's in the creation itself, is that what you're saying?
yeah, the lines just blur, and it's not always so many good things, good as in I'm going through life doing all these good things, are not always good. And the things that lots of people are doing that are evil are not
Uh-huh.
always not evil.
Right, but you know, if they're real independent things, what people think they're doing, if they think they're doing good or they think they're doing evil, the evil or the good wouldn't be dependent upon what they think about it. Like if Hitler thinks what he's doing is good,
I
it
get what you're
doesn't
saying.
make it good.
No, no.
Okay.
But you could all,
Um,
and again, that just then you start just really getting into, what words mean. You know what I mean? After a certain point, it's like, if you call something evil, I get what you're trying to say. So I could get into just, I guess, this kind of semantics argument about it, or it's like, I don't think you could say either way. I don't think it's good to define whether or not evil or good exists because they only exist as concepts inside of the oneness. They don't two
right.
things, you can only separate something because the one thing exists. So again, just like the Powerade bottle or the tree or us, it only has a temporal reality. Like,
Yeah, I mean, which is what we were talking about originally. We were saying if we look towards what is higher than us and we look towards the good, we can recognize what it is in some sense. Like we can recognize good things,
yeah,
and and that should be what defines what good is, not me. Like I need to remove myself in order to understand what good is.
yeah,
But I would say that evil, it doesn't exist in some sense. Like it's not a being. Evil is just it's a lack of do good, and it's going against the nature of the thing.
yeah,
It's a lacking. It's a unformed, unformlessness. It's an unbeingness. It's a chaos. It's a disorder. It is.